With Google Bard AI, they say it can help people with programming and software development tasks, including code generation, debugging, and explanation. They say Bard can translate your code from one language to other, can explain your code to you line by line, can help generate documentation and tutorials for source code, can help craft SQL queries for your databases, can help debug your lines of source code. Okay, so I thought let me verify this now that I have access to Bard in India. So here are some examples where they talk about, given this particular text prompt, how can I do this? So basically it generates the code, right? And then there is the next example where they are saying that, you just tell me about the code within a particular repository, and then it gives an explanation, right? And then they also have a visualization over here on, debugging. So if there is an error message and you want to, this code didn't work, please fix it. Bard can help you debug. Okay. So that's the idea. Debug this error message. Okay. So I thought let me try this out and see how it works. Okay. So you can access bard.google.com with your Google Gmail account. Okay. So I logged into it and, I wanted to try that out. My previous prompts were wrong. So I said, okay, tell me about the code within this particular repo. This is one of my repo. So this is about bird topic, right? So demo of bird topic for topic modeling. It explains that this this repo contains a Python code that demonstrates how to use bird topic library to extract topics from text data. The code is well organized, easy to follow. It provides a good starting point for anyone who wants to learn how to use bird topic. Then it says the code first imports the necessary libraries, including bird topic. Then it loads text data. It creates bird topic model, trains it on the text data. Finally, it uses the model to extract topics from the text data. Okay. The code also includes a function that prints the topics that we are extracted. So it explains something about the code. Okay. And then it says here are some additional things about the details about the code. Overall, this is a valuable resource, so on, right? Now, what did I do is that I said which data set is required to run the code, because over here I specify a particular data set. Then it says does not specify any required data set to run the code. Okay. I was expecting that if it knows something about this repository, probably it can extract that information as well, but that's not present over here. Okay. Then I said I given another repository. Okay. This was another repository of mine where I talk about LDA topic modeling. So if I look at this particular explanation, these lines are kind of repetitive. It's like a template, right? This code is well organized, easy to follow. Overall, this repo is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to learn about this topic, right? But then it talks about what is my repo about. It loads the text data, wants to extract topics from it, creates an LDA model, trains it on. That is fine. Makes use of GenSim, and it explains this. Okay. Then I thought, let me try with one more repo, right? So this was a custom NER, with Spacey repo. So here it says again the same lines. This code is well organized. The code also includes function. Overall, it's a valuable resource for anybody who wants to start with this. So the point over here is that whether the repo is going to be useful or not, Bard will tell that it is a valuable resource for anyone who wants to learn about it. It is well organized, irrespective of how poorly organized the code is, or how if it is, even if it is not well organized, it's going to repeat the same statements in the template. Okay, that is something which I did not like over here, because I thought it will get customized with every repository, because every repository is going to be different, right? So it just puts some generic statements, puts some keywords over here, and then they populate this template. That's how it looks to me. Okay. And then it says here an example how to use the code to create a custom NER model and so on. And it gives a link to some other repository over here, not my own repository. Whereas I would have expected it, because I'm talking about that, I would have expected it to, refer to that, right? So this feature, as claimed, I did not find it useful. Maybe maybe it's of use because it is still experimental, right? Everything, there is a disclaimer here, huge disclaimer over here, right? But may display inaccurate or offensive information. So it may be inaccurate information. But yeah, so this was about this feature of explaining a repository, right? Then I wanted to try out one use case of, I wanted to try out the debugging part. So I said, this is the error, and when run this cell, it raises an error, this code. Okay, then it says this error 0 by division occurs when you try to divide a number by 0. It is because of this particular unit is equal to none in this particular code, which is not the reason. Okay, for example, if I were to copy the same thing and let me reset chat, right? Copy the same thing, and instead of what will be the solution, I will say, can you debug this code, right? You debug. Can you debug this code? Okay. Let's see what comes up. So it is still trying to process the response. Sure, the error diffusion pre-trained when trying to scheduler object. Scheduler object is not working over here. To fix this error, you do something else. Scheduler object is using steps. So this means that learning rate will be divided by after every 1000 steps. That is the reason which is creating it. Okay. So now it gave a totally different error, right? Let me copy it again. And let me reset chat. And let's see what comes up this time. Okay, this is a text encoder parameter. So it's basically coming up with different answers over here. Okay, nothing properly related to this particular case. So this is kind of hallucination over here. It's a generative AI, right? So it is generating different responses every time. Okay, I would have expected it to point to some kind of an error over here, but it keeps generating different things. Maybe if I were to try it once again. So I think Google needs to improve this kind of behavior where some kind of determinism should be present over here, right? Otherwise, it's not of going to be used to you because it is hallucinating things over here. It comes up with different errors every time. Okay. So maybe this time it is again talking about the text encoder. Maybe one more time. Maybe it might repeat the same response. I'm not sure. But that's the problem with the generation. So the generation, output generation may not be constrained, right? So here it talks about GPU pipeline, GPU map. So there are multiple possibilities because of which this error may come. But then every time if it is were to give different answers, right, then for a developer to fix this error, it's not going to help. So manually what would a person would have done is that put this error into Google search or Stack Overflow and then look at the answers and try it. Okay. But if the solution were to improve that over that activity of manually trying to search, then probably at least it should give up to some accuracy. It should give us what is the error, why is it happening. So it is still in an experimental stage. Over a period of time, it may improve. Okay, I am not comparing it with ChatGPT or anything over here. This is purely a test of Bard's capabilities over here. And this is with just one use case. Okay, maybe when you try out 100 examples, maybe it might give you something good for say 50, 60 examples. That experiment needs to be done to really verify that and see, okay, what is the kind of results it gives, right? But I think it's too early currently to, make use of Bard in your day-to-day activities to improve productivity. So that is just my opinion over here. So this was a short video on the coding capabilities and of Bard. Basically, not just the coding capabilities, but I specifically looked at this repo explanation and debugging capabilities over here. I hope this video is useful for you. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. See you in another video.